joining us for Sam's end of year presentation. She'll be going over her junior year, everything that she's done through the entirety of her junior year. So at the very end, we do ask that you allow staff and faculty in the room to ask any questions or comment on Sam's presentation. And then we'll open it up to the people who are joining us virtually and in person to ask any questions or comments to Sam. And with that, Sam, you can start us off.
Hey everyone, before I start, I just want to say thank you for coming. I know it's a busy time for everyone right now, so I appreciate everyone making time to join. It's not really.
You just kind of have to wake it up.
So quick introduction. My name's Sam. I'm a junior, and I'm majoring in psychology and sociology with a minor in computer science. And throughout the presentation, I'll go through the 3 pillars I talked about, some major lessons I learned throughout the year, and our summer plans, and then some of the fun activities I did this year. To start with, the 3 pillars, which are knowledge, leadership, and service. First, knowledge. Might skip around here a little bit, actually. So over the summer, I worked with the University of Houston at Clear Lake, where I received training on applied behavior analysis intervention techniques, which are used for during therapy sessions with children, usually that have learning disabilities. And through that opportunity, which I'll talk a little bit more about later, one of the faculty that actually was someone here at UTSA. So when I got back, they put me in contact, and I actually was able to join a lab. So with that lab, we're working with the Morgan's Multi-Assistance Center, which, if you're familiar with Morgan's Wonderland, this is the same organization, but this center works with individuals who also have learning disabilities and helping give them the opportunity to gain working experience, so they can later try to go work outside of the center. And the research is mainly focused on how we can make the center more inclusive, kind of looking at what we're doing right, what we could do better. Then did the Big Rowdy idea and paper business competitions. Although we did not win either of these, I feel like they were both really good learning experiences. I'm a psychology major, so I definitely don't know how anything runs in the business area. But each competition we do, the more I feel like I'm getting more familiar and how to present everything, things like that. And I also did the Beaverton competition, which was kind of similar. We did not win that one either, but that one was a bit of a stretch because I went in not really knowing the language we were going to code in or how to use any of the projects. It was kind of just for the experience, but it definitely helped because it felt like it helped me work under pressure and work with teammates, and kind of dip my feet into learning one of the languages that's commonly used in CS. And lastly, so the summer of my freshman year, I worked at Old Dominion University of Virginia doing research with human interaction with automated vehicles. And this year, we actually got that work published. So it's been super exciting to see all that work that we put into that project finally kind of go out there. And a fun fact, I guess, that picture is of the article, and that's me sitting in a chair, so really cool. Next is leadership and professional development. So this year I've continued to be part of the Student Psychology Association. This year as a public relations officer, which is basically just in charge of reserving rooms and setting them up for any event we have. But I've also been a committee leader, which is just tasked with putting together a set amount of events, like meetings where you bring faculty in, volunteer events, and social events. And then through my lab, I've been part of Sorry, Gary was saying, I went to the Southwestern Psychological Association convention. This was just a really fun experience because we got to present on research that we were helping out. And like those kind of events are really fun because everyone loves to talk about their research. They just go around asking questions and everyone's equally excited to answer them. Also, I've been a PsyChi member, which is the National Honor Society for Psychology. For the past year, that we've been working jointly with their officers. So all the events we run together. It's been pretty cool to be on both ends, like attending those events, but also being part of the people that set them up. And then going back to what I did over the summer, the training that I received, I actually used it to help out with the teacher training we were doing. So we essentially just brought in a lot of teachers, special education teachers in the Houston area to receive training on these techniques. And it was really stressful, but valuable experience nonetheless. Because those trainings that I received, usually you get them during your master's, which is like a 2-year program, you get practice and all that. And I had to learn those in like 2 weeks, enough to be able to teach someone else those techniques. It was very stressful at first, but after we got started, it became really worthwhile just to build these connections with all the teachers you meet, and you know, they're going to use these techniques to make their classroom a better environment for all the kids that they have. Lastly, service and community involvement. So with Student Psychology Association and PsyChi, I put together a few events. The most notable ones for me have been the Delta Pets events, where we make dog toys for the Delta Pet organization. We've been really wanting to help them out because they always bring out their puppies to help students de-stress and all that, and we never charge anything. And then we worked with Lunches of Love, which this idea came from Emily actually correctly. But I decided to kind of expand it onto the SBA. This organization basically just it hands out free lunches for students in need over extended breaks, and they try to decorate their lunch bags so it's a better experience for those kids. So we just got together and decorated some of those bags. And then we've also gone to the Haven for Hope Community Kitchen quite a few times, for these organizations. And then this year I've also continued with the Drive Lab, like you mentioned earlier. So just doing a lot of literature searches, putting together a lot of posters and things like that. And lastly, Top Scholar Adopt a Spot. I included this picture because my group last semester, we think we broke a record for how much weight we picked up. So we're pretty proud of that. But we just continued to be working on that this year too. And next, I'd like to go into some major lessons that I learned. So the first one has been to say no to opportunities that come up, or communicating my deadlines or where I'm at with things a little better, so that I'm not actively taking on everything that comes my way like I had before. I learned really quickly that it was becoming really bad for my well-being. So I've gotten a lot better with that. And second, time management. Throughout the years, I feel like I've been refining how I plan out my days and all that, trying to find a method that works best for me to be more productive. And I feel like I've finally gotten it. I'm pretty sure I'm still gonna need to work on it, but I think I found something that works for me. And lastly, learning from failure. So I think I might start with a little story time on that one. Last year, I applied to the DAD program. And if you're not familiar, it's a program that wants students to go abroad to Germany and do research at a university there. I applied and I got rejected. And it was really tough at first. because I took it as like me not being qualified enough, not having enough experience, just not being good enough overall. And I kind of started to expect failure anytime I did anything, so I applied again this year. Not really expecting to get in or anything. I had a whole other study abroad program lined up, and I was ready to go. But then I found out that the projects that I applied for had not gotten funding, so that's why I had gotten rejected, but funding came around for one of the programs and they took me on. So I guess leading onto my summer plans, yeah, I'll be in Germany for the summer. So that experience, the whole application cycle and all that was really beneficial for me because it taught me, one, of course, to learn how to talk more about my experiences in a better way when I'm applying to these kinds of things, but also to not be so hard on myself when things happen. Sure, there's definitely areas where I need to put in work to be with these, like what you need to be successful in these applications, but also sometimes it's not entirely that you're not qualified or anything. There's just a lot of special circumstances that we don't always know about. But with that, I'll go ahead and talk about what I'll be doing. So I'll be in a small town called Lugo, Germany. It's pretty far away from all the cities that I think anyone would know in Germany. But I'm really excited nonetheless. Looks like a really pretty place, sorry. And the research I'm doing is really exciting. So I actually was inspired to apply to these projects from the work I did over the summer. So while I was there, I worked at a clinic, and I found out that for kids that are trying to get therapy for their learning disability, the wait time to enter a clinic like that is usually 2 years. So the help is really inaccessible for a lot of people. So I was thinking it would be really cool if you could use technology to make trainings like that more accessible for teachers or for parents, and then slowly maybe move into even for the kids themselves. And this project, it works with human technology interaction, which this is focused on introducing technology to the workplace, not to take over people's jobs, but to help them do it better. And it's being developed so that we can use the technology to help people with disabilities kind of become more part of the workforce. And they're thinking that this technology can be kind of used throughout in a similar way, like I was saying, maybe to help introduce trainings with virtual reality or something like that. So I'm really excited for this research. Next, oh, sorry, I went back. Next, to end off on a fun note, some of the things I did to have fun this year. I traveled over the summer and it was a really great experience. We went to Canada. But overall, this year has just been filled with spending time with friends, and it's been really great to have the support of everyone around me. I feel like it's one of the things that keeps me motivated while everything else gets really difficult. And with the number of pictures that are of animals, I feel like I should mention one of the bigger things that I did to have fun was also kind of learn how to take care of my new pets, and meeting everyone else's animals is desperate. And yeah. Thank you. Oh, sorry. Thank you everyone for coming.
All right, well, great job, Sam. It's particularly fun to me to see your academics, like what you're doing academically. Not that you haven't all along been doing great things, but I think really since your experience at ODU, really moving forward, it's been like the acceleration of what you've been doing and the intensity of what you've been doing is really quite remarkable to see what you're doing. And I hope you'll remember the story you just told us about Dodd, because you're gonna have a great time, and there are lots and lots of times where something happens and you just don't know why, right? And sometimes you do need to critically evaluate what it was you contributed, good or not. But yeah, sometimes it just happens, right? So I'm very, very excited for you. I want to remind you, as I've been trying to do for all students, that as you move into your senior year, the younger students are going to be watching you and looking at you. And it will be up to you and the rest of your cohort members to reach back down to those students and to not simply say, oh, I'm here if they need me, right? Because that's not really what mentoring is. Mentoring is actively reaching out to them, because you're going to be way too intimidating for them. They're going to go, oh my gosh, this huge, she works in a lab, she's published, she got sponsored research in Germany. They're going to be too scared to call you, right? But I hope you'll stay very actively engaged with our younger scholars next year. I'm really happy with the work you're doing. Good job.
Super cool to see like what you're doing. We don't get to interact a lot, so it's interesting to kind of see your year at a glance, and congrats on that. I thought super impressive, and it's like kind of echoing what Christy said, you know, things happen for a reason, and don't take no too hard, right? Don't take the rejections too hard. Always use it as a learning opportunity to kind of see what you can improve on, right? I know it's easier said than done, so I totally understand, but you know, just take a day maybe to kind of be sad about it and then kind of move on from there, right? I'm super proud of you. Thank you so much for your help selection. You're super valuable. Whenever it comes to troubleshooting you and Jesse, so I appreciate you all. Find your voice more. Maybe you're a little bit soft spoken, right? But you know, there's so much power in your voice. It's feel free to utilize it more. The Westerners on the line as well. I think that's for maybe journey.
Well, great job, Sam. Thanks everybody for being here.
Thank you so much.